I'm Aditya. I'm currently a final semester student at Delhi Technological University. Basically, KPMG India is a multinational firm which pertains to providing its various clients services with respect to advisory, taxation, auditing, and accounting. Three different specializations: named strategy and transformation, customers and operations, and finance transformation. So basically, both the rounds of interviews were basically CV based. They dug into my CV. It was a very comprehensive and an extensive discussion about मतलब एकदम LinkedIn कर डालो पूरे अच्छे तरीके से LinkedIn पे फोटो कर डालो.
So hi everyone, welcome to Upscale Talks, and we are in middle of the series wherein we have brought some of your seniors who are discussing their journeys into how did they land into their dream companies and the dream profiles. So for today's session, we have Aditya Shekhar Singh amongst us, who is currently placed as KPMG. So hi Aditya, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Archit. How about you?
Same here. So I think I should provide you the stage to provide information more about you. Our audience would like to know more about you. So can you just introduce yourself in a bit?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here. And yeah, with that, I'll start off. I'm Aditya. I'm currently a final semester student at Delhi Technological University, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. As of now, I'm busy with my BTech major project, alongside trying to upscale my knowledge in some of the general tools which are used in the consulting domain. Talking about my professional experiences in the past, I have some experiences in the operations domain, the biz dev domain, and the project management domain, which alongside my PORs and projects helped me, get a job offer at KPMG. At a personal level, I'm someone who's pretty outgoing. I was very shy at first, but throughout my whole experience in college, I've outgrown myself into becoming someone who is more extroverted and wants to meet new people. And in the whole process, I've gained a lot. And with this, I would like to, move on into my, next phase of life.
Sure, Aditya, that was very great. So now let's just move on to the on and move ahead with the presentation. And a lot of people come to me and they want to know more about the KPMG, but wanted we find that we can start about introducing KPMG, and then probably you can tell us about the experiences, how the interview went, and probably if you have some questions, so we can move ahead with the presentation as well.
Sure. So basically, KPMG India is a multinational firm which pertains to providing its various clients services with respect to advisory, taxation, auditing, and accounting. And KPMG India particularly came to DTU to hire analyst roles for its business consulting division.
Sure, Aditya. So, can you just tell us more about the process from the day one when the company got listed and to the day when you got finally selected for the company? What was the mindset during those times? So, I think the process must have been for a week, right? And I would like to hear it from you that how did all the process go?
Yeah, okay. So KPMG came around the month of August, so it was one of the initial firms which came for hiring, especially in the non-tech domain. And it started off with the PPT, a general presentation where it talked about the company and the various roles being offered. And then it went on to have an aptitude test. Everyone above a GPA of 6 was allowed to sit for the aptitude test. The aptitude test consisted of questions from verbal ability, quantitative ability, and data interpretation and logical reasoning. Post the aptitude test, 50 odd students were shortlisted over 3 different specializations: named strategy and transformation, customers and operations, and finance transformation. I personally was placed in the finance transformation specialization role. The students were distributed in these 3 domains on the basis of their CV, is what I believe, because we were not asked our preferences before the whole process was taking place. We knew that KPMG would be hiring for an analyst role, but we did not know that there are 3 different specializations or 3 different centers of expertise which would be present to hire. So I guess that was mainly CV based. And then following that was 2 rounds of interviews, and there were around 10 odd selections across these 3 departments.
Sure, Aditya. So, you mentioned that you got selected into the finance transformation profile. So, and you said that it was probably based on the CV shortlist or something of that sort. So, why do you think that you got into the finance domain and not the strategy or the customers one? So, do you have any sort of answer to this question?
Yeah, I guess pretty much it was obvious to me because there were some finance keywords in my CV, a bit over there, a bit over there, and so every single part of my resume. I was the joint treasurer of the FinTech Society, and also I was heading a social impact project which uh, taught underprivileged kids about financial literacy and fraud schemes and all. So and I had a few projects pertaining to finance and economics. So I guess these are some things which guided me towards that particular path, and I consider myself fortunate enough to be placed in the department of my interest.
Okay, sure, Aditya. That was it. Do you remember any sort of questions out of your interview, or what did the interviewer wanted to investigate in you when you were appearing for that? So, if it would be good if you can answer this question as well.
Right, sure. So basically, both the rounds of interviews were basically CV based. They dug into my CV. It was a very comprehensive and an extensive discussion about the various experiences I've had, be it my internships, be it my academic projects, or be it my PORs. Um, in the first interview, I was asked a case where I was supposed to design a budget vehicle which would do well in the Indian market. It was a case which I had not expected at first, because usually when we talk about case studies, we have a certain framework in mind where okay, fine, it might be a profitability case study, or it might be a market entry case study or something like that. But this was something completely different. I guess I was asked this case study just because I was from a mechanical engineering background, and it put me in a spot at first. But I believe to be able to answer these case studies in the most effective manner, you need to have a very open mind. You need to have some amount of clarity about the subjects you are studying at college, be it mechanical engineering, be it electrical engineering, and I guess you will pull through the process. Same thing was about my second interview as well. I was not asked any case study, but it was a more in-depth discussion about my CV itself, and a very detailed, deliberation over one of my projects, which was in Adobe Analytics. So yeah, that was the
Okay.
major part. A major that covered a major chunk of my interviews.
Okay, fine, Aditya. So that was very insightful about the interviews. Now I think we can move ahead with the presentation and talk about your journey to land into the KPMG. So it was probably what we discussed till now was more about how was the KPMG process. But I think preparing for consulting roles does not start a night before the interview. So what all have you gone through in the college life? Let it be first year, second year, third year. How you prepared that mindset that you were telling to have an open mindset? You mentioned, right? So probably you can tell
Right.
us more on that.
Yeah, sure. So, what exactly happened is that I'm a very inquisitive and a curious kind of person. So I actually like to explore new things. So ever since I joined college, I was trying different sorts of things every now and then, and was also trying to focus on my engineering as well. Alongside came along second year, where I got exposed to something called case study competitions, which gathered a lot of my interest, and I just started attending many of those, even though I could not make head or tail of what was supposed to be done. Okay, so me and my friends used to just go for experience and try and learn as to exactly try and understand what's exactly happening, and how to go about it. As time passed, I realized that okay, this is something I would enjoy working in. This is something I would enjoy working with. So I decided that yeah, okay, consulting domain is something which is tailor made for me, and then I started to build my profile in a certain manner where I could actually get into the best of companies during the placement season. So profile building is a very integral and a very important part when it comes to non-tech placements, because if you do not have the required profile, the chances of you getting an interview in the first place is very tough. You might be very good at solving case studies and guesstimates, but if your CV does not get shortlisted in the first place, then it's of no use, right? So my profile building journey started off around the transition from second year to third year, and then I started building the required skill set. Trying to solve small caselets, some small guesstimates, and trying to get some technical knowledge as well with respect to data visualization tools and Excel, PowerPoint, etc., which I knew were basic things and were required for getting a consulting job. And obviously, having a couple of PORs helped me a lot in gaining those communication skills, having that broad outlook about what needs to be done, what how to lead a team, how to work with different sorts of people who are around you, who have different experiences. So of course these are some things which added on to my whole profile and helped me get a shortlist in the first place. And then obviously my case study and guesstimates preparation started off in June and July, before fourth year started, and those 2 months of rigorous preparation helped me get very well versed with all sorts of case studies which are usually asked in the interviews. So yeah, I guess that is the whole gist of it, and yeah,
Okay,
overall the
Aditya.
whole experience helped me.
Sure, Aditya. So, our viewers have asked us the question that if, let's say, they do not have any major POR right now, if they are in third year, so what is your advice to them, and what else can they improve if they are not having that POR section filled up, with the 90 plus marks, let's say? So, what all can you recommend to those people?
Right, absolutely. And there are many people in such situations, but there's no need to be disheartened, because when it comes to non-tech placements, it is a very holistic process. Okay, they're not looking at one particular aspect of your CV. They're not looking at only your internships or only your academics or only your PORs. Right. So basically, if you do not have a POR, if you can get one at this position, try to do so. And if you cannot, then try to work on different parts of your CV and make them as strong as you can. If you can do good projects, which you can at this point, please do so. If you can get some good interns onto your CV, very well. And if you have some good acads, yeah, obviously good acads don't hurt anyone. And up your skill set, and don't worry much about not having a POR, because there are more things to your CV which could add more weightage to your whole profile, and will help you get that short list which you need.
Sure, Aditya. Apart from that, I also have one more question regarding the, you have written that consistently work and better your communication. So, what advice could you give on this front as well, if that would be great?
Okay, so everyone has different experiences. What I feel helped me a lot is that I enjoy reading, and I enjoy reading aloud. So whenever I read, I try to read everything aloud whenever no one is around. So I believe that bettered my communication in a very proficient manner. And of course, if you have PORs, you're actually dealing with different sets of people. Okay, so you talk with them in different ways, and obviously you get that sort of enunciation, that pronunciation into place as to how you want to talk with someone who you do not know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess these are some experiences which throughout the time help you. That too is not an overnight process. If you feel that you're weak on your communication part, please try reading and reading aloud. That will considerably help you.
Okay, fine. So let's just move on to the final question for today's session. That what advice would you give to people watching this video if they're in first year, second year, and third year? So what advice can you give them if they're not confident about what field they should choose, or are they preparing for the consulting domains? So yeah.
Right. So, my common advice to the first 2 years would be, please take care of your GPA. Do not ignore it. Someone who comes and says to you कि oh GPA तो चल जाएगा यार अगर कम भी होगी तो, it does not happen that way. Try to keep your GPA above 8. If you are above 8.5, very well done. Above 8 would work absolutely fine. rest when you enter when you enter first year. It's a major transition from school life to college life, and since you're doing engineering, please try and understand that engineering as a field is one of those domains which has that freedom to be able to explore many different other fields, right? Many other departments do not have that leverage, and please take advantage of this. Please try, please explore, please go out, research, and actually find out what you want to do. Join different societies, and try and see where your interest gathers. In second year, try narrowing down onto the path which you actually want to go up on, because that way you will have an early head start as to what you actually want to do. If you actually want to, get a master's degree, you would work in that direction. If you want to get a non-tech placement, you would work in that direction. And obviously, if you join multiple societies in the first year, try to narrow that down as well, so that you are only dedicated to a few societies which are of use to you, and so that you could make a better impact on them as well. In third year, obviously get your internship sorted. Start networking a lot, because you never know when your network could actually work out in a better way for you.
Sure.
मतलब एकदम लिंक्डइन कर डालो, पूरे अच्छे तरीके से लिंक्डइन पे नेटवर्क कर डालो, because a network could help you in ways which you cannot even imagine. I was very late to understand this, and I would actually pressurize everyone to actually get this done. And obviously keep a positive mindset, and start working bit by bit. Nothing happens overnight. There's no need to take pressure, and just keep a clear mind and have a goal which you could focus upon and you think is feasible for you, and everything will work out, just the way you want it to.
Sure, Aditya. Thank you very much for joining us for this session, and thank you to our viewers as well. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks for having me, Archit. Thanks.
Thank you.